Hey, welcome back, everybody. Well done. Hey, good to see you guys again. Oh, you passed the follow-on, and you're number 11 out of 6. Oh, well done. Welcome back. Here's Big Basket now.
There is only one tree in the world. You don't grow, you order.
Christmas tree from Big Basket.
Get Santa costume also.
Yes.
Big Basket. Get Christmas trees, decorations and more in 10 minutes. Shop now.
Hey, great to see everyone again, because India today has maybe saved the series. That was a sort of conversation that we saw from the commentators. It was a big day today in the series. A lot's happened. And India, to their credit, they fought hard. And it looks like they've got themselves out a bit of a jam. So well played, India. Pezza.
Damn straight, and for Australians right now, particularly judging by the visceral comments coming through on AskTGC, Aussies are hurting and looking forward to reading them for everybody's pleasure. It sets up Boxing Day Deluxe today. It's game over, but not after a very eventful final session after blokes actually played cricket for a little while. I got to say, that last hour or two was some pretty hot Test cricket. Little noncy from me to sort of call it from afar and not just show my deep frustration. We'll get into that. But, mate, Cummins had those laser beams going in the last couple of hours. You could see it. Like, he had the bit between the teeth, carrying the nation stuff. He'd lost a bowler. He'd backed to play. He's never beaten India in Test cricket. He's bowling at the ground whose fortress was breached last by India. There's sweat pooling across his naked jawline. After a particularly eventful over, Tim Lane says, "I don't think I've ever seen Pat Cummins look so aroused." Trying to carry the nation on his back, but at the other end, he's repelled by a stoic 10th wicket partnership between, the opposite great, Jasprit Bumrah, supported by Akash Deep. Excellent work earlier on from KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja. This is Test cricket. He goes, India's task, it turned out, was to not lose the game in 3 days, and they've just about limped their way there with one leg and one cane. And, tomorrow... Exactly, he's one of our own. You just got caned, by the way. One for the hardcores, and bring on Boxing Day.
I think, both countries have been colonised by our good friends in England, and if they have taught us anything, it's that if you can't win, you must celebrate the opposition's failures. And I got to tell you, India fans, your treat today is that was fucking annoying. That was fucking annoying being an Australian fan. And I'm getting wound up sitting on my couch at home. I'm causing fights with the missus unnecessarily. That's just me projecting what I'm seeing on the screen. Australia's playing with 3 bowlers trying to win a Test match. It's just annoyed me. It's ruined my Tuesday, And so India, you might not be able to win the game. The series very much stays alive right now. But if you want to take a victory today, you can be sure that you've annoyed me. So, well done,
mate. I want to keep it down. I want to keep that tone going. Really, can we cover? He goes, just the talking points of the day, and vomit out what we need to around shit that happened, but mainly get into the emotion. So I'll just start it with India does enough. Okay, so Steve Smith's dropped the sitter first ball.
Oh,
right?
Fuck, I forgot about that. Jesus Christ.
Now, we've clarified in the last couple of days that his eyes aren't painted on, but he had the fucking pure silk sleep mask on, still getting 40 winks from the night before. And it's cost Australia 51 well-made KL Rahul runs post-drop before Smith takes a screamer, sleep mask off, get into your work sort of stuff. And I guess we got to shout out the resolve from KL Rahul, who regularly proves himself to be the most capable Indian batter in these climbs, and it's a great salad. It's I don't know if this means much to Indians, but he makes the old school batting orthodoxy faction fucking drool. I don't know if I've seen a player probably since Tendulkar for whom the old guard, the golden generation, the old players up in the combox actually compare our players to him like unfavorably. You know, like they use KL Rahul as a yardstick for how to play in Australia. When the rest of them are nicking off, and he's played an excellent innings today, albeit being dropped by Smith first ball with the pure silk sleep mask on. But mate, and then look, shouting out Jadeja as well, right? You know, he's got that. It's his first stick for the series. He's got the Marwari stallion on his bat. I had a look at what the Marwari means. That's a horse in India. And it's a horse used for light draft and agricultural work, which is basically what Jadeja did today with a well-crafted 50. It's what we asked from Josh Hazlewood, but there's a lot of wear and tear in the old horse, to put it mildly. And that was what Jadeja did today. Shout out to him. He did enough. You know, like I think I've maintained in this game with the amount of rain that's been around that India's known they just need to not lose this game in 3 days of cricket, and they'll be good to go. And they're just about going to get there, and they're going to walk in a Boxing Day Vince McMahon style, probably with more than half the crowd. It's going to be an away day for Australia. Shout out to India, and fair play to them for that as well. We have a podcast coming out in a couple of days' time where we're going to be speaking to a guy who's basically going to explain why India holds the key to Australian cricket's future when it comes to junior cricket. So shout out India. Thank you for sustaining our game. And Australia looks forward to an away day on Boxing Day shortly. There you go.
KL Rahul, his record in South Africa is actually very good as well. So maybe just plays well on the decks. He's a much better player than 8 Test hundreds in 50-something Test matches. But it was also just the amount of time he took out of the game, time against the new ball. It obviously did appear much easier to bat as the ball got older. I think by the end, Cummins tried to change the ball a few times, and you look at the super slow-mo close-up of the ball, and the seam was like purple. So I'm guessing it was collecting a lot of water. I'm guessing that's why they were trying to change it. I don't know, so that drop catch proved critical in time out of the game, and then Jadeja up to face that new ball as early as possible, really, I suppose, as well. And on Jadeja, has the cricketer scored more annoying runs for every team he's played against ever? Every time you think you're in a sniff with India, either Ashwin scores 100 or Jadeja scores 70. Fuck me. I cannot wait for these guys to fuck off, okay? Because it's not good-looking runs. It's not bad-looking runs, don't get me wrong, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm not having a good time watching these runs because I think, maybe my team's winning, or maybe the team that's playing against India is winning. And then it's like, nah, these guys will just eke out another 180. It's fucking annoying, okay? It pisses me off.
Mate.
He's a good cricketer. Hey, and also he averages 35 in Test cricket, exactly the same as Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes has 9 more Test hundreds than Stokes. Sorry. Stokes has 9 more Test hundreds than Jadeja and 14 more 50s, but they average the same. I know there's a period of time there where Jadeja averaged 50 in Test cricket. I think Stokes has the match-winning knocks, and he's an incredible player. But I feel like I could make an argument saying like Jadeja's a better batter than Stokes, and that's saying something because Stokes is a good batter. But I just feel like when you're playing against India, every time you think you've got through the top 6 and you're into the tail there, either Ashwin or Jadeja just ekes out these runs. These guys are just some of the best cricketers that have ever played the sport, and it's fucking annoying.
Yep. India always, it's a credit to their love of the stick that, more than any other team, you'd need to take more wickets to actually open the door to the tail. You think you've opened the fucking door, and you haven't.
I haven't opened the door.
You haven't opened the door. You're seeing the right numbers next to the. I says 6 down. We're good to go. Let's crack open the bumpers, start scaring some cunts. No, someone gets 70 or 100, and there we go. As it proved today. Looking forward to that praise that we've just delivered not being well received. Look, we got to talk about the bush horse. Here goes. That's the intense segment for Big Basket Now. It's a 10 minutes to change the game today. This is thanks to Big Basket Now. It's a Christmas campaign. Yeah, it all starts with a big heart. And you can't question the heart of all the players playing today on all sides. But with Big Basket, you're looking at your Christmas trees, your stars, your decor, not your Melbourne Stars. I don't think you can buy Melbourne Stars, though someone in India might buy the Melbourne Stars soon. I just don't think they're buying it through Big Basket, though they might. Big Basket might be involved, okay? It's a Tata company. Who knows? It might all be wrapped in 10 minutes. They could if they wanted. Cookies, plum cakes, electronics, here we go, toys, another gifting range. It all starts with a big heart. The 10 minutes to change the game, he goes. Look, if people didn't really watch the cricket, there was footage, there was montage this morning of Hazelwood warming up deep in conversation with with physio, strength and conditioning, faceless lanyards with good bodies who advise on these things, and Pat Cummins. And it was noted that he didn't take field at the start of play. Fears for the worst were allayed because he then did take the field and bowled an over. But when his first ball was dragged down halfway outside any kind of corridor of wet paint that you're used to from Josh Hazlewood, you knew there were problems. And he bowls one over. He goes off. We think, fuck, he's come back too early from the side. And it's later confirmed that actually he had calf awareness. He was becoming aware of his calf. It was aware of his awareness of the calf existing. I know that's a medical term of it felt like it felt tight. Something might happen if we don't come off. But if you, as you said on the couch today, he goes, if you can already feel it, it's probably fucked. So yeah, I just want to say that's an enormous injury blow for Australia in the context of this game. I have some statistics on Hazelwood here, and this is per Cricinfo. This is per Andrew McGlashan and Alex Malcolm as well, but I think Nash is writing this tonight. So he goes from November 2021 to now. Hazelwood's played 17 tests of 35. He's missed 4 of the 2021-22 Ashes with a side strain. He was left out of 2 in Pakistan and 2 in Sri Lanka when fit. Australia played 2 spinners. 22-23, he missed 1 against the Windies and 2 against South Africa with a side. He missed 4 against India in India with an Achilles. He went home after the first test in that series. He wasn't quite fit for the World Test Championship final, although he did push to play. He played 4 of the 5 Ashes matches, rested and managed for Headingley. He played all 7 in 23-24. He missed 3 T20Is with a calf in September on the UK tour. 24-25, he missed Adelaide Test with a side, so that's obviously the last test. And he's pinged a calf here. So if you include the World Test Championship final and Headingley, he's missed 14 tests with injury or body-related issues in 3 years. That's this series done for Josh Hazlewood. I'd imagine it might be Sri Lanka done as well, and I guess all we can conclude is that people will do anything to miss the BBL. It was a long run up.
It was worth it. That was a good payoff. That was a good well done. Yes, those numbers and Hazelwood being effectively out of the series is giving me deflated penis awareness, I must say.
Awareness.
I can feel it, which means it's already fucked. It's already going down. Don't worry about that. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
But anyway, mate, what do you say? I mean, it's so unfortunate. What's annoying is that there's such a good replacement in the wings, and I include Nisa in that as well. Who's also been injured. I think he was going to be injured up until the Brisbane Test match. I don't know if he'll even come into calculations for the Boxing Day Test. I mean, Boland will just play, right? But Boland's only played 3 first-class matches in ages, one of which was the last Test match. So, guys are old. What do I feel like? I don't know. It sucks for him, but I feel like as well. This is the risk that Australia carried when Cameron Green was out of the Test series and they didn't replace him with an all-rounder. Mitch Marsh just can't bowl. He can't bowl the overs required for an all-rounder, right? So Australia have gone into this game as they did last game with, can we take 20 wickets with 4 bowlers? Okay, and now it's like one guy goes down. Look, Mitch Marsh can physically bowl, but I think we all know what I'm trying to say. And so can Australia take 10 more, 11 more wickets with 3 bowlers, guys that have now already bowled? Cummins has bowled 20 overs, Stark has bowled 24, and Lyon doesn't look like he's getting the same purchase because, Lyon's hardly bowled in the series. He's been unders as well for spells. So you're looking like it's just such a long task. So losing Hazlewood was basically the game today. It's not the series, but it's the game today, I think.
I felt like the sting went out of Australia's tail when he went off. Like it turned the visions of Australia winning from like, they've just got to keep going. Keep it tight. Stay like simple, and it will probably happen. To like once he went off, it was like it's going to take something pretty gargantuan now. It's a big blow, and when he goes off, naturally you go like, have they brought him back too early? And I got to say, one plus side of his calf injury is if you're looking, to avoid accusations that his side strain wasn't ready, then calf awareness is the ideal one to pick up. Now, like I'm not, it would be very bold of the Australian team to lie about another injury to avoid revealing it's a recurrence, and I don't think that would happen. I think there's too many strong contacts out there. Journos with strong contacts to keep something like that under wraps. But so there's no suggestion of that. But like, mate, this is one of those things that that magnifies the age of the team, because just as Hazelwood goes down, naturally the all-rounder is in that role to pick up the slack. But Mitch Marsh clearly is not in great shape to help out. He's Australia's next seamer. He's bowled 2 overs out of 74, which is especially problematic when Australia's only path to victory was to enforce a follow-on, therefore more bowling to win. So when the guy that's meant to step up, if a quick goes down, also can't bowl, you're fucked. And there are people in the Australian team, and in I think insider quarters who are perversely happy with this because they were worried that Cummins and Stark would be cooked for Boxing Day. That the next game is more important than this one, which is a perverted way of thinking, but there is a logic to it as well. Today, Mitch Marsh wasn't fit for purpose. Today we learned that Australia, as you say, went in with 6 bats, to win, and 4 bowlers. You roll the dice sometimes, and I think Australia's rolled the dice on experienced players, and they would argue correctly, I think, that the experience and the togetherness of that team ultimately is a net positive. But today, that physical fragility of taking in a lot of older blokes, which is the cost of doing business with older blokes, has been exposed, and it's cost them. That's just they're the swings and roundabouts and the risks you take when you have older guys.
Can I say on top of that as well, I think Australia basically, when that happened, Australia needed to be perfect. Now Smith's drop catch happened before Hazelwood went off the field, but though he did tweak it in the warm-up, right? So they must have been aware of it.
He was cooked.
Another sign of an ageing team, drop catches. And this Australian team, white ball and red ball, have been, I would say, up there with the worst fielding teams in Australia in this century. And that's because Australia's had really good fielding sides, but they have dropped so many catches already in this series, and that's another cost of business with old guys. Now, like, I'm not even necessarily advocating for like a sweeping change and Bailey so close to the seam and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's just cost of business. Steve Smith has this weird record where he just drops heaps of catches, but then just takes some of the best catches you've ever seen. His highlight reel of his best catches will be as good or better than anyone that's ever played the game. They're incredible. But like, he does drop heaps of catches. Anyway, when he drops a catch today first ball, it's another sign they're not perfect, and they needed to be perfect given the rain and the winning by an innings and all that kind of stuff. So, cost of business, Pezza.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess, third thing he goes is that now that India have defeated the follow-on, that's essentially game over. Really, there's a bit of talk around Australia sending out blokes to bosh it around and have a crack. Wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought there's a lot of hope for rain. You got to shout out Stark and Cummins, who bowled manfully. They toiled fucking hard. But India's done enough on those decks, and it's flowers to India as well. It was an okay day for the Penguins. absolute kinesthetic energy towards India at the end when AskTGC fucking mows Cummins over cow, or as someone on the Patreon chat said, I thought you weren't allowed to mow them over sacred cow, but AskTGC did, and just after he mows Cummins over cow, the umpires say can't see that well. that is AskTGC's best 2 minutes in cricket right there. It will not get better for him than that. So Penguins still had a bit of a day out. There was at Shatter Twist wrote in and said the Penguins have just received a savage eye roll, boys. Looks like the light drizzle has resulted in Starkey entering a sarcasm-induced K-hole. We'll see if we can get a graphic up for that as well. So we're getting some good stuff there. I also want to shout out, Nathan Lyon's been largely ineffectual. Would have been interesting to see what he could do tomorrow. I was keen to see what Australia might have been able to do, backs to the wall, trying to get a win tomorrow with Lyon, but India, as they often do, played him off their dicks. So play on. Right at the end, shout out to Indian fans as well, who were cheering every single ball, and that was fucking annoying, and that's to their credit. Their resistance was like echoes of past frustration when they've done things like this, on our doorstep. We stopped bowling at the stumps. That's also annoying. It was working. But yeah,
can I say, Pez, this reminded me a little bit of the Sydney Test match in 2021 in the 2020-2021 series, where Australia were the better side in that game. They set India like 400 and something to win, and India batted 130 overs at the SCG.
Yeah.
They ended up making 5 for 330 or something like that. But Pujara faced 200 balls, Vihari faced like 150 balls, Ashwin faced over 100 balls, I think, at the end, and they just blocked the shit of it. And they got themselves to the next game. They got themselves to the Gabba where... they outplayed Australia in that final game, and Rishabh did his thing, and they won the game, and they chased like 320 or something like that in the fourth innings at the Gabba to break the fortress that was at that time. So it reminded me of that. Now Australia have absolutely battered India in Adelaide and in this Test match. Now, again, that reminds me a little bit where they battered India in Adelaide all out 36, etc. in that pink ball Test match, and then they obviously lost at the MCG. Then they did enough at Sydney to get that draw. So it was 1-1 going into the last Test match at the Gabba that time, and then did enough. So, I'm seeing some parallels here. India have too many winners and too many fighters, and they've got some muscle memory about how to win in Australia in that dressing room. And this is most definitely a missed opportunity. But at the same time, how can all these things be true? But at the same time, if Australia rolled through India today, why did that feel like that was the end of the series? It's
the beauty, mate. It's a beautiful thing. Australia's battered them in this game, and they'll walk away one apiece, no one with any number next to their name, but Australia more injured and more tired. So they, even though, not a lot of talk now about Cummins' declaration. Maybe he did know something, I know it's Ashton Kutcher butterfly effect stuff. Could have got into him earlier, etc., etc. But that maybe they needed all of those runs, and they felt like they were going to need to bowl him out twice straight away. But yeah, it's that's India should feel happy with that. And as you say, I don't think they have too many players that stay down for too long. I think right now, not to be confused with Toulon, the rugby union team, and that's an issue I've got to fix with the doctor. But I'm sorry to everybody. But I don't. Australia's had the wood on India's top order the last couple of games. Now they've lost one of their linchpins. Stark and Cummins will be tired, and it just means that we're talking mouth-watering areas for Boxing Day. Both games will be heavily supported by Indians. They're on decks that should be more familiar to Indians. I think India would have looked at this 5-test series and thought, gee, if we can get out of Perth, Adelaide and Brisbane 1-1 as an absolute result. So Australia's going to, it's just on a knife's edge, and India's jammied their way through it with a bit of luck with rain. Fair play to them.
Another annoying thing about the Hazelwood injury is that he didn't have to bowl until day 3 of this Test match. So that's just another frustration. And Australia have obviously battered India in this game. They played really well, yet they put on 30 whatever for the last wicket, and then Akashdeep hits a massive 6 and they go off a light. India have won this test match. Like the momentum shift is so bizarre. It's like hitting a 6 in a T20 for the last ball when you just had it, when you scored a low total, and you bring that in, then you get a wicket off the first ball in the second innings. You know?
Oh yeah. Does Burma go and take 7 for now? Everyone agrees that we should finish the game quickly so we can all have a hit.
The best case scenario, Pezza, is that it pisses down all day tomorrow, and no one suffers any more. No one has to take any more scars into the next Test match. Right? That's the best case for Australia now.
For Australia, yeah, exactly. Hey, hashtag AskTGC now. Look, if you've been hanging around for the views of I was going to say the masses, but really this is a niche crowd. We just asked for some visceral feelings. So I'm just going to read them out quickly if I can here. There's 81 replies. I won't go through all of them. There's no way that 81 of them are appropriate. But verbose, no, that person wrote, horse doctor in Melbourne, where is? The great physicist says, how far would Akash have hit it if he could see it? You rat dog said, I repeat, fuck's sake, when is this game ever good? Rene Rivkin said, I need $33 more to avoid the ATO following on. Donald Robert Argus says, fucking Penguins. Phil Jelks says, Queensland Glue Factory, we're fined. I went to school in the city, says, bucket on nonce league, when start. Mayor in the drink says, gas truck in fielding terms, what is? Just fucking bat properly says, veterinarian who specialises in horses based in Melbourne, how much cost? Charlie's uncle's lightning mate says, ketamine, how get? Other ones like, have Australia tried walking in with the bowler? Mitch Marsh, where is? Horse euthanasia, how much? Is the reason why the rain came because we only have one Sky Daddy and they have 33,330? Slug, what is? Higgins wedding menu shines amid looming Australian cricket crisis. I just passed a kidney stone the size of a grapefruit that was less painful than watching that cuck shit. Why is this happening to me? Can we concussion sub Hazelwood out for Boland? Yorker, how bowl? Bowl at the stumps, you dumb cunts. Royal Commission into BCCI cloud seeding in Oz. India avoided the follow-on. Someone get Virat a stump. Sucking in the big ones counter, where is? Nice little curtain raiser for light green versus blue tonight. India celebrating the follow-on is beater as fuck. Indian weather balloons greater than New Jersey drones. It goes on. Time for Gaz to go zippy in. Sorry, Stuart Clark. Gerald Wheatley, Australian Cricket Emergency Crisis Podcast now. Anybody got a good rate on carrots? It's dangling season. How easy would this have been if Captain Planet listened to the Fox commentary and just pitched it up? Hashtag checking in with the greats. Pull the curtains up around the bush horse, he's done. Bowling on off stump, where is? Someone says, look, stings to know that this will be a draw, but every single one of us would have absolutely taken India cheering to merely avoid the follow-on if you'd offered us this scenario 1-0 down after Perth. How about we finish it there as a measure of reason? And just, a great nod to the symphony concerto, the multi-part series of a five test match series between a couple of heavyweights on a couple of different decks.
Spot on, Pezza. And you know what? We had it good for maybe sort of 6 or 7 days of cricket, but once again, when Australia's losing, TGC is winning. And this is the place to come when we're all about to melt down just before Christmas. Thanks to Big Basket now for getting behind TGC. Hey, we'll be in Brisbane tomorrow for our live show, and I guess we'll be reporting from the ground or the backstage or something. Or I tell you what, it's going to be pretty tight for old Doss or Big Matthew Hayden, our special guest, joining us backstage.
We're going to have to talk to Star.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to Star about getting him on our show. Anyway, that's all to come. So we'll see you in Brisbane tomorrow, and can't wait to do this all again. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.